BNB spoilers. Where does Luna's death leave Poppy? The bold and the beautiful spoilers say that now that Luna is dead, or at least we think she's dead, a lot of people can't help but wonder where this leaves her mother, Poppy. As a matter of fact, we've barely seen her on the canvas, mourning the daughter she had just lost. Where does Luna's death leave Poppy? This has prompted a lot of people to wonder if actress Romy Park, who has played Poppy on the show, will be returning, and if so, what kind of storyline she will have in the coming weeks and months ahead. Because after all, there's a good chance that Luna might be back sooner rather than later. If there's anything that we've learned about life in the soap opera world, it's that you are never really dead, even if they hammer in that last nail in the coffin. With that said, there's a chance that Luna might come back, and if she does, it's going to bring quite the plot twist in Poppy's life. This is the same mother that said she was happy that her daughter had died the first time around. If anyone has forgotten, what's next for Poppy? Of course, many BNB fans had a lot to say about the matter on social media. Some even speculated with, "I enjoy these characters. I'd like to see a deep friendship or romantic relationship develop between Lee and Sheila." As for Poppy, I think she would make an excellent Phyllis, YNR, type character for the Bold. Another fan of the show wrote, "I hope to see more of them both. Such opposite personalities, type a doctor with a god complex versus a selfish emotional wreck. Give me more." And then there was this comment as well. "Unfortunately, I don't see much for either as much as I love Lee." Now, whether or not Poppy does get the storyline that she deserves, which comes complete with a redemption arc, remains to be seen. Watch this space for more. The Bold and the Beautiful airs weekdays on the CBS network. Check your local listings for times. In one of the most shocking twists The Bold and the Beautiful has delivered in recent memory, beloved and polarizing, character Luna Nozawa is gone, at least according to the most recent episodes. The emotional fallout has left fans stunned and asking a heartbreaking question. Where does Luna's death leave her mother, Poppy Nozawa? Soap opera spy. Today, we unpack this devastating moment, how it unfolded, what it means for the characters most affected, and why Poppy's journey is only just beginning. Broken Heart, Luna's tragic end. A story that stopped fans in their tracks. For months, Luna's story has been one of turbulence, a dramatic journey filled with violence, secrets, family drama, love, and loss. On the most recent Bold and the Beautiful episodes, Luna's life ended suddenly and heartbreakingly when she was struck by a car, closing the chapter on a storyline that had captivated viewers for years. Though we didn't visually see her body, her death was officially confirmed in dialogue on the show, sending shockwaves through the characters and fans alike. What to watch? This wasn't just another soap opera plot twist, it was a gut punch. Luna was a character no one could ignore, whether you loved to hate her or secretly rooted for her redemption. But while the world of Los Angeles reels from the loss of Luna, one person has been hit hardest by this tragedy, her mother, Poppy Nozawa. Disappointed face, the heart of the tragedy, Poppy's complicated grief. Poppy Nozawa, portrayed by the talented Romy Park, has rarely been at the center of the show's biggest stories until now. When the news of Luna's death was delivered to her within the hospital walls, the reaction was surprisingly stark. Poppy stunned everyone, not with tears, but with a blunt declaration that she was glad Luna was dead. What to watch? That moment instantly became one of the most talked about scenes of the season, not just because of the shock value, but because it revealed how fractured Poppy and Luna's relationship had become. Fans reacted with disbelief and heartbreak over Poppy's reaction, which seemed almost cold. But digging deeper, this heartbreaking scene underscores a far more complex emotional truth. Crying face Poppy loved and lost in the only way she knew how. Poppy's response is not simply about relief. It's about grief, guilt, confusion, denial, and the kind of love that isn't easy to articulate. Many fans and critics believe this moment was written to show just how wounded Poppy truly was. Not only did her daughter spiral into violence and manipulation, but she was someone Poppy failed to help in the way she wanted to. That emotional weight may have twisted her reaction into something fans found shocking, even heartbreaking. So Pub, because while Poppy said she was glad Luna was dead, her silence in the following days has spoken even louder. Eyes Poppy's absence, a sign of deep grief. After that initial reaction, Poppy disappeared from the canvas, leaving fans confused and worried. She hasn't appeared on screen since learning the devastating news about her daughter. So Pub, this absence is telling. In soap opera storytelling, a character vanishing after tragedy often signals that they are processing trauma off-screen. They could be preparing for a major comeback storyline, or they might be in serious emotional turmoil that will explode in future episodes. Whatever the writer's plan, it's clear that Poppy's story is far from over. Brain, why Poppy's reaction matters, and why fans are talking. Many fans have taken to social platforms to express a wide range of emotions about Luna's death, and especially about Poppy's reaction. Some feel deeply sympathy for Poppy, arguing that the guilt of not being able to help her daughter toward redemption is far more painful than any simple grief. Others have criticized the writing for making Poppy seem too cold, too cynical, or too detached from the tragedy. Reddit. One thing is clear. Poppy's grief is not straightforward, and that's exactly why the storyline is so compelling. Because grief after loss is never linear. It is messy. It is complicated. And in Poppy's case, it's wrapped up in decades of emotional baggage, family secrets, and the long shadow of Luna's troubled life. Tornado, what this means for Poppy's future on BNB. With Luna gone, or at least presumed gone, the stage is set for some major emotional and dramatic arcs for Poppy. 1. A journey through grief and identity. Poppy may spiral, and that's not a bad thing for the character. This could be a path of self-discovery, reflection, and perhaps even redemption. Will she retreat into herself, seek therapy, lash out at those who judged her, or confront the trauma that may have helped shape Luna's destructive choices? All of these are fertile ground for the drama Bold and the Beautiful is known for. 2. A reconciliation with other characters. Poppy's relationships with other characters, especially Lee, Finn, and the Forresters, have been strained for years. Luna's death could force a reckoning. Will Poppy and Lee find common ground in shared grief? Or will old resentments tear them further apart? This emotional crossfire could fuel weeks, if not months, of future storylines. 3. The possibility of redemption. Soap operas are no strangers to resurrection, and while Luna's death is currently canon, some fans have already theorized that she might not be gone for good. So Pub, if Luna somehow returns, Poppy's world would shatter all over again. Crystal Ball soap fans are not ready to say goodbye. Even though Luna's death has been confirmed, Smarty Pants soap fans aren't ready to close the book on her story. Crystal Ball soap fans are not ready to say goodbye. Even though Luna's death has been confirmed, Smarty Pants soap fans aren't ready to close the book on her story, or on the emotional fallout for Poppy. Across fan forums, social media platforms, and comment threads, theories run wild. Some fans believe Luna's death will be retconned. Perhaps she was never truly dead. Reddit. Others think Poppy may end up digging deeper into her past, uncovering hidden family secrets that could explain Luna's descent. A few even believe Poppy herself could become one of the show's most tragic, misunderstood figures. And this underscores something essential. Poppy's grief and her future has become one of the most emotionally engaging storylines on BNB. Whether you love her, hate her, or find her heartbreaking, she has become central to the show's emotional core. Collision, why this story is breaking the internet. This isn't just another plot twist. This is real emotional engagement. In an era where television often sacrifices nuance for shock value, the way the Bold and the Beautiful has handled, or is still unfolding, Poppy's grief after Luna's death is generating passionate fan discussion. From online debates about whether Poppy's reaction was justified to heartfelt fan videos exploring her pain, This storyline has become one of the most talked about moments of the year. Fans can't stop sharing theories, reactions, gifs, and emotional essays about what Luna's death means, not just for the character herself, but for the mother she left behind. Hourglass not done. What's next for Poppy? Unfortunately, The Bold and the Beautiful hasn't revealed exactly what's coming next. Only that Poppy's return to the canvas will be significant. Soap opera spy. Because in soap opera drama, death may be final, but emotional impact lasts forever. As viewers continue to reflect on the loss of Luna, Poppy must now navigate a path no mother ever wants to walk. The loss of a child, the legacy of mistakes, the possibility of forgiveness, and maybe, just maybe, finding peace. Her journey is just beginning. Television, final thoughts, why this moment matters. Luna's death isn't just a plot device, it's a catalyst. A turning point that will redefine relationships, emotions, and storytelling on The Bold and the Beautiful for weeks to come. And for Poppy, her story, long overshadowed by her daughter's chaos, is finally taking center stage. Whether she becomes a figure of empathy, tragedy, or rebirth, one thing is certain. Poppy's grief will continue to shape the show's most powerful emotional stories. Stay tuned, because in the world of The Bold and the Beautiful, grief is never the end. It's the beginning of something even bigger. The world of The Bold and the Beautiful is no stranger to explosive exits and heartbreaking farewells. But the recent demise of Luna Nozowa has sent shockwaves through the canvas that few fans saw coming. As the dust settles on the tragic hit-and-run that claimed the life of the embattled young woman, one central figure is left standing in the wreckage. Her mother, Poppy Nozowa. For months, the relationship between Poppy and Luna was the emotional heartbeat of a dark, twisted saga involving secrets, paternity lies, and criminal desperation. Now that Luna is gone, Poppy finds herself at a crossroads. Is she a grieving mother? Or is she finally free from the lunatic who nearly destroyed her life? The fatal night, how Luna met her end. The climax of Luna's reign of terror reached its breaking point when she escaped custody and headed for the Malibu cliffs. Driven by a deluded obsession to build a life with Will Spencer, Luna's desperation led her straight into the path of a moving vehicle. The tragedy was compounded by the fact that the driver was Ms. Dillon, the very woman Luna had previously held hostage. In a cruel twist of fate, the accident occurred while a massive search party, including Bill, Lee, and Poppy herself, scoured the dunes with flashlights, hoping to bring Luna back to justice. Instead, they found a crime scene. A death confirmed. While many fans are skeptical, rightfully so, given the show's history with characters like Sheila Carter, Deputy Chief Baker has officially confirmed that Luna succumbed to her injuries. Bradley Bell, the show's executive producer, has even gone on record stating, "Luna is dead," seemingly closing the book on Lisa Yamada's Emmy-winning run. Poppy's shocking reaction, grief or relief. Perhaps the most high-engagement aspect of this storyline is not the death itself, but Poppy's chilling response to it. When Lee Finnegan broke the news that her daughter didn't make it, the expected reaction was a breakdown. Instead, Poppy delivered a line that left viewers and Lee speechless. "I'm glad she's gone." Poppy's coldness isn't entirely without context. Before her death, Luna had framed Poppy for murder to cover her own tracks, manipulated the Spencer family for wealth and status, assaulted Will Spencer and claimed to be carrying his child. For Poppy, Luna was no longer the sweet daughter she raised in the magic of their early years. She had become a monster. This cold reaction suggests that Poppy is choosing self-preservation over traditional mourning. But in the soap world, suppressed grief usually manifests in dangerous ways later on. Where does this leave Poppy's future? With Luna out of the picture, Poppy's place in the Spencer and Forrester circles is precarious. Here is how her life might change in the coming weeks. 1. The relationship with Bill Spencer. Bill was once ready to move Poppy into his home and make her his queen. However, the revelation that Luna was not his biological daughter, and the subsequent chaos Luna caused, has soured the dollar bill romance. While Bill expressed remorse for getting Luna a pardon, his focus has shifted toward protecting Will and Katie. Poppy may find herself an outsider once again. 2. The sisterhood with Lee. Lee and Poppy have spent most of their lives at odds. Lee viewed Poppy as a hippie screw-up, while Poppy saw Lee as a judgmental elitist. Ironically, Luna's death might be the only thing that can bridge the gap. Lee, who also has a ruthless streak, may be the only one who can understand Poppy's complex feelings of relief and guilt. 3. The shadow of guilt. Even though Poppy claims to be glad Luna is gone, the mom guilt is a powerful narrative tool. Expect to see Poppy haunted by memories of the old Luna. There is a high probability that Poppy will begin to spiral, perhaps turning back to the special mints or other coping mechanisms as she realizes she is truly alone. Is this really the end for Luna? In The Bold and the Beautiful, a lack of a body often means a character is in storage. While the showrunners insist the death is final, fan theories are working overtime. Some believe Lee is hiding Luna to rehabilitate her in secret, a classic Lee move, much like she did with Finn. Others suspect a mask, twist, or a twin revelation. Regardless of whether Luna stays 6 feet under, her death has permanently altered Poppy's DNA as a character. She is no longer just the fun, free-spirited sister. She is a woman who has survived the ultimate betrayal by her own flesh and blood. I end The Bold and the Beautiful. A lack of a body often means a character is in storage. While the showrunners insist the death is final, fan theories are working overtime. Some believe Lee is hiding Luna to rehabilitate her in secret, a classic Lee move, much like she did with Finn. Others suspect a mask, twist, or a twin revelation. Regardless of whether Luna stays 6 feet under, and the beautiful universe has been shaken to its core by a devastating loss that no one saw coming. Luna is gone. Her death has left fans stunned, hearts broken, and one character standing at the center of unimaginable grief, Poppy. While the shockwaves ripple through Los Angeles, it's Poppy's silent devastation that feels the heaviest. Today's very sad news isn't just about losing Luna. It's about what her death means for the woman who loved her most, and how this tragedy may forever change Poppy's future. From the moment the news broke, the tone of B&B shifted. Gone were the glamorous fashion battles and sharp-tongued rivalries. In their place stood raw sorrow, unanswered questions, and a mother, or mother figure, left staring into an empty space where Luna's future once lived. A loss that changes everything. Luna's death wasn't just tragic, it was abrupt, cruel, and deeply unfair. She was young, full of promise, and only beginning to understand who she was and where she belonged. For Poppy, Luna wasn't merely a daughter or a loved one. She was hope, redemption, and proof that life could still offer something pure after years of mistakes and secrets. Now, that hope has been extinguished. Poppy is left grappling with a pain that words cannot fully express. The kind of pain that doesn't scream, it suffocates. Luna's absence is everywhere, in the quiet moments, in the rooms they once shared, in the future Poppy imagined but will now never see. This isn't just grief. It's identity-shattering loss. Poppy's world collapses. For a long time, Poppy defined herself by survival. She made questionable choices, lived with regret, and carried secrets she believed were necessary to protect those she loved. Luna became her chance to finally do something right, to love openly, to heal. And now that chance is gone. Where does that leave Poppy? Emotionally, she's standing on the edge. Luna's death strips away Poppy's emotional anchor, leaving her vulnerable in ways we've never seen before. This is not the fiery, defensive Poppy fans are used to. This is a woman broken, barely holding herself together, questioning every decision she ever made. Did her past mistakes somehow lead to this moment? Did keeping secrets cost Luna her life? Could she have protected her better? These questions will haunt Poppy relentlessly. Guilt, regret, and crushing what-ifs. One of the most devastating aspects of this tragedy is the guilt Poppy carries. Even if Luna's death wasn't directly her fault, grief has a way of rewriting reality. Poppy will replay every conversation, every argument, every moment she chose silence over truth. The what-ifs are endless and merciless. What if she had told Luna the whole truth sooner? What if she had kept her closer? What if she had made different choices years ago? This internal torture may push Poppy into a dark place. The show has a long history of exploring grief-induced spirals, and Poppy, now, stands dangerously close to one. Whether it manifests as emotional withdrawal, reckless behavior, or explosive confrontations remains to be seen. But one thing is clear: this grief will not be quiet. A woman alone in her pain. Perhaps the saddest part of Luna's death is how alone Poppy now feels. Yes, others are mourning Luna too, but no one feels this loss the way Poppy does. Friends may offer condolences, sympathetic glances, and hollow reassurances that time will heal. But time feels meaningless when the future itself has been ripped away. Poppy's relationships are likely to suffer under the weight of her grief. She may push people away, convinced that isolation is safer than connection. Or worse, she may lash out, directing her pain toward those she subconsciously blames. Grief doesn't just break hearts. It breaks connections. Does Luna's death expose long-buried secrets? In classic Bold and the Beautiful fashion, tragedy rarely arrives alone. Luna's death could become the catalyst that exposes long-buried secrets Poppy fought desperately to keep hidden. Death has a way of dragging the truth into the light, especially when guilt and regret loosen the grip of silence. Will Poppy finally confess everything she kept from Luna? Will shocking revelations about Luna's past or her true parentage come spilling out in the aftermath? If secrets surface now, they won't just hurt. They'll devastate. Poppy may find herself facing judgment not just for who she was, but for what she didn't say while there was still time. Anger may follow the grief. Grief is rarely just sadness. Eventually, it transforms into anger. And Poppy has plenty of potential targets. She may blame herself, but she may also blame others. Those who rejected Luna, those who treated her like an outsider, those whose decisions created the chain of events leading to this loss. This anger could ignite explosive confrontations across Los Angeles, dragging old feuds back into the spotlight. Poppy's sorrow could evolve into a dangerous determination to hold someone, anyone, accountable. And if that happens, B&B is heading straight for emotional warfare. Will Poppy be able to go on? The biggest question haunting fans right now is simple and heartbreaking. Can Poppy survive this loss? Luna was her emotional lifeline. Without her, Poppy may feel like there's nothing left worth fighting for. The show may explore themes of depression, emotional collapse, or even self-destructive choices as Poppy struggles to find meaning again. But Bold and the Beautiful has always been about resilience, even in the face of unbearable pain. While today's news is devastating, it may also mark the beginning of Poppy's most transformative journey yet. Whether that journey leads to healing or total ruin remains uncertain. A legacy of love and pain. Luna's death leaves behind more than grief. It leaves a legacy. For Poppy, that legacy is love unfinished, words unspoken, and a future imagined but never lived. Luna's memory will haunt her, but it may also become the reason she eventually chooses to live differently. Poppy may honor Luna by finally choosing truth over fear, by protecting others the way she couldn't protect her, or by refusing to let this tragedy define her entirely. But that healing, if it comes at all, will not be easy. It will be slow, painful, and earned through tears. Final thoughts. A story that will break hearts. Today's very sad news marks a turning point not just for Poppy, but for the Bold and the Beautiful itself. Luna's death is a reminder that even in a world of glamour and power, loss spares no one. And for Poppy, The road ahead is darker than anything she's faced before. She stands at the crossroads of grief and survival. Will she crumble under the weight of her pain, or rise, forever changed, carrying Luna's memory with her? One thing is certain. Poppy will never be the same again. And neither will the fans who watched this heartbreaking story. The world of daytime television has been rocked by the devastating news that has left fans of the bold and the beautiful in a state of mourning and disbelief. The tragic passing of Luna Nozawa, played by Lisa Yamada, has sent shockwaves through the canvas, but the most jarring element of this very sad news isn't just the loss of a young life. It is the chilling void where a mother's grief should be. As the dust settles on this explosive storyline, the question on every viewer's lips is, where does Luna's death leave Poppy? A tragic end for the lunatic. Luna Nozawa's journey on the soap was a whirlwind of ambition, deception, and ultimately a descent into madness. After a series of loony maneuvers, including a double homicide in 2024 and the attempted murder of Steffy Forrester, Luna's path was always destined for a dark conclusion. Her final chapter came to a violent close following a daring prison escape. After being struck by a vehicle driven by the art teacher, Dylan, Luna was rushed to the hospital. Despite the tireless efforts of Lee Finnegan and Bridget Forrester to pull her back from the brink, Luna succumbed to her injuries in the recovery room. For the characters in Los Angeles, her death marks the end of a reign of terror. But for Poppy Nozawa, Romy Park, the tragedy is far more complex than a simple loss. Poppy's icy reaction to mother's betrayal? In what has been described as one of the most shocking scenes in recent soap history, Poppy's reaction to her daughter's death was not one of tears or lamentation. Instead, when Lee delivered the news that Luna was gone, Poppy's response was colder than ice. Good. I'm glad Luna is dead. This icy declaration has left the Spencer and Forrester families stunned. To see a mother so thoroughly disown her only child, even in death, suggests that the damage Luna caused was irreparable. Poppy had already declared that Luna was dead to her long before her heart actually stopped beating, primarily due to Luna's targeting of Will Spencer and the destruction of the life Poppy had tried to build within the Spencer dynasty. Where does this leave Poppy? 1. Social pariah and emotional isolation. Poppy now finds herself in a precarious position. While many characters, including Finn and Steffy, admit to a sense of relief that Luna can no longer harm them, Poppy's vocal gladness has made her an object of scrutiny. Even Lee, who spent months chastising Poppy's parenting, was horrified by the lack of maternal instinct shown in the hospital. Poppy is effectively alone, navigating a world where she is no longer the mother of a rising star, but the mother of a deceased villain. 2. The quest for redemption or survival. With Luna gone, Poppy's primary tie to the gold standard life at the Spencer estate is severed. Her daughter's miscarriage, a baby that would have been a Spencer heir, was the final nail in the coffin of Poppy's dreams for a shared fortune. Now, Poppy must fight to prove she wasn't complicit in Luna's master grifter schemes. Can she convince Bill Spencer that she is a victim of her daughter's madness, or will she be cast out alongside Luna's memory? 3. The shadow of soap logic. Of course, in the world of the bold and the beautiful, death is rarely the final word. Rumors are already swirling among the B&B fam that a body was never shown, and Chief Baker's confirmation might be premature. If Luna were to rise from the dead, as many fans predict, Poppy's cold reaction will become a permanent stain on their relationship, potentially fueling a future revenge plot that could target Poppy herself. The legacy of a broken bond. Today's news is very sad, not just because a character died, but because it highlights the complete disintegration of the mother-daughter bond. Luna died seeking a father figure in Finn and a love in Will that she could never truly hold, while Poppy watched from the sidelines, seemingly more concerned with her own status than her daughter's soul. As we move into 2026, Poppy Nozawa stands at a crossroads. She is a woman without a daughter, a mother without a mourning period, and a socialite whose invitation to the inner circle is rapidly expiring.